All right, so we are well into May, which means riding season has arrived. I'm excited. And in this video, we're going to talk about 11 different epic ATV events going on throughout the country that you're going to want to hear about.
Hey, do you want to stay up to date on the latest ATV trails, reviews, and news? Obviously you do. So hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss our future videos.
All right, so we're going to cover these events in order that they happen. So it's not in any sort of favoritism order. In fact, to be honest, I haven't even been to most of these places yet. But hopefully in the future, I'm trying to get to at least one or two a year to cover them and to just have a good time. So with that, the first one we are going to talk about is Rally on the Rocks. Now, this is a pretty famous one. You might have heard of it. It takes place in Moab, Utah, which is an amazing place to take your side-by-sides. In fact, Rally on the Rocks, interestingly enough, is actually the second biggest economic event in Moab. And I should say as well, it's a little different than a lot of the other events out there, because when you register for this event, you actually pick specific trails in which day you're going to ride them. And then you kind of just, you show up as a group and ride as a group and all that. And they still have their base camp as well with vendors and all that. But it's a little different in the fact that you actually pre-register for what trail you're going to ride which day. And it is an amazing place, which, by the way, I should mention, no ATVs are actually allowed at Rally on the Rocks. It is UTVs only. Now, being that it is Moab, there are tons of lodging options, everything from hotels to camping, and the whole community is super supportive. So you can usually ride your machine through town and just all over the place. And of course, that may change, so make sure you check the local laws when you get there. And it's for Rally on the Rocks, so it runs from May 14 through 18. All right, so next up on the list, we have the Hurley ATV Parade in Hurley, Wisconsin. Now, this is most known for its ATV parade, which is said to be the largest in the Midwest and one of the largest in America, period. But it's actually a multiple 4-day event consisting of poker runs, vendors, trails, drawings, more trails, like 200 miles of trails, something like that. Just tons of trails. It's just an awesome few days of riding up there. The local community gets involved, the local businesses get involved, and there's kind of just this build up to the actual ATV parade. And a lot of times by the time people show up for the parade, their machines are just already destroyed with mud, and it's just a great event. So definitely something to check it out. And then I believe the day after the parade, they actually have what they call the biggest, baddest mud pit of all, and it's put on by the fire department, no less. So you know it's going to be muddy when they bring out the trucks and water. Definitely something to check out. And this one is over Memorial Day, which is May 23 to 26. So if 200 miles of trails isn't enough for you, you might want to consider checking out the Brimstone's Whiteknuckle event, which is considered the Hold On Tight event held in Huntsville, Tennessee. They boast over 300 miles of trails, and they have awesome things going on, like Find the Gnome event along the trails where you have to try and find the gnomes, and they have tons of competitions. They have live music. I think this year Brother Osborne's going to be there. So just epic events. They got camping. There's places to stay. There's fireworks. There's karaoke. There's the vendor village. There's the nitrous circuit. Dirt Tracks actually went on to label this the Woodstock event for ATV and side-by-sides. It's supposed to be just an amazing time. This one we're actually hoping to catch next year. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it there this year. But it, again, is just supposed to be an epic event. So epic that they are actually giving away a Yamaha Wolverine X2. You can just win one while you're there. You go down there, you have some fun, you leave with a brand new machine, and it didn't cost you $1. That's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, this event also takes place from May 23rd to 26th. So depending on what part of the country you're in, maybe you go to Hurley, maybe you go to Tennessee. All right, so before we get to number 4, do me a favor and share this video out on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media platform you use. Let other riders that you know about some of these events, and quite honestly, you're helping us out as well. So there's a good chance you've heard of number 4 on the list because it's touting as being one of the muddiest events in America, and I'm talking about the High Lifter Mud Nationals. Now, for this year, the one in Texas is already passed, but you're in luck because Quadna Mud Nationals in Hill City, Minnesota isn't until June. Now, if you're looking for an awesome event where there are tons to do, and I mean tons, from trail riding to live music to mud bogs, sled drags, poker runs, I mean, they cram a ton of stuff into these events. This is definitely one you should check out. If you get tired of all this stuff or you just need some time to relax, awesome, because there's camping available, there's hotels and different lodging options in the area, so you can sit around, enjoy the fire, relax, whatever you want. Or if you just want to relax but not at your campsite, these events are awesome to watch. They're just entertaining. So even if you don't want to participate in things like the sled drag, they're just entertaining to watch. Now for 2019, VIP Day starts on June 6th, and then the general admission is from 7 to 9 June. Now, next up on the list is one that I'd never even heard about, and I only heard about it because we're trying to combine as many ATV events as possible on our website on like this big calendar to help people find events near them to attend. So check that out as well. All these will be listed and then more. And if you have any you think should be added, definitely just hit us up and we'll try and get them added. Anyway, the event I am talking about is Rally on the Pines, which takes place in Salmon, Idaho. Never heard of it, and it looks really awesome and unique because it's different than a lot of other events in the fact that there's a lot of history involved. For example, you actually get to ride some of the original trails that Lewis and Clark were on when they were obviously not on ATVs. I shouldn't have to say that, should I? Like, I shouldn't have to. I'm not. Moving on. You actually get to ride some of the trails that Lewis and Clark were on, and you can even take a history ride where you end up going through the historic ghost town of Leesburg. That's pretty awesome. And those two events on their own are what's super intriguing to me. And they claim that this is the Great Western ATV and Side-by-Side event. And the trails, they also just look amazing. There's streams, there's mountains, there's lakes. I mean, mountain vistas, just some epic looking views. This event looks fan-freaking-tastic. And on top of all that awesomeness that really separates it, they've still got other trail rides like the Hunt for Bigfoot. That sounds really interesting. They've got prizes, they've got vendors, they've got ATV and side-by-side soccer, just all sorts of different stuff that it looks like a great event. Now, this one runs from 11 to 14 July and is quite frankly one that I would really love to check out soon. Next up on the list, we have Dune Fest, which is a family-friendly event based out of Winchester Bay, Oregon. And this event is also just packed full of activities. There is just tons of stuff going on for the whole family throughout this event. And I mean everything from camping to concerts to kids rides to vendors, drag strips, motocross, ATV courses, kids courses. You can even take a helicopter ride here or enjoy a treasure hunt. So I mean, just tons of stuff going on. Something that anyone in the family should be able to enjoy and have a good time. And this year for 2019, the event will be from July 23 to 28. All right, so the world's largest biker bar has expanded into the off-road world in a little place you might have heard of called Sturgis, South Dakota. Now, with over 600 miles of trails throughout the Black Hills, you are bound to just find some amazing views. And if you're looking to explore some of those trails but don't want to do it alone, you can grab a trail guide and take your ATV or side-by-side to some of the highest peaks in South Dakota. And if you don't want to do that, there's going to be poker runs, vendors, high lifters going to be there with a mud bog, all sorts of different stuff, even Rhett Rotten's Wall of Death. What is that? Anyway, the event is from 24 to 28 July. Next, we will head to Berlin, New Hampshire on the east side of the country for the Jericho ATV Parade. Now, this place is supposed to be considered a true ATV paradise with over 80 miles of trails and 1,000 miles of interconnecting trails. That's a freaking lot. Now, as for the event itself, it's going to take place in the Jericho Mountain State Park and is going to have everything from poker runs to mud pits to vendors, again, helicopter rides, live music, demo rides from some major vendors, and more. So something to definitely check out if you're in that part of the country. This year in 2019, it will take place from 2 to 3 August. All right, number 9 on the list, we have the UTV Take Over. Now, don't let the name fool you. This is not actually just for UTVs, and this is in 3 separate locations throughout the country. Unfortunately, we've already missed one, so there's 2 left, both in Oklahoma and Oregon. And this event includes everything from designated kids play areas, drag strips, night rides, ATC Olympics, demo rides, rock and roll bingo, and more. Again, huge event, very well known throughout the community, and they just pack tons of stuff in. Now, as for dates, in Oregon, it'll be from 26 to 30 June and September 25 to 29 in Oklahoma. Now, this list wouldn't be complete if we didn't include at least one expo in there. So this year, I'm talking about the AIM Expo Outdoors. Now, you may have heard of this. It's the largest motorcycle and power sports trade show in America, and they boast over 400,000 square feet of stuff for people to just drool over. And this year in 2019, they're actually adding a dirt course so that people can take live demo rides. So if you're looking to check out that new Honda Talon, maybe this is the place to be too. I actually have no idea if Honda's going to be there or not. Now, I can tell you it's going to be based out of Columbus, Ohio from 28 to 29 September 2019. All right, so last up on the list, we have Trail Fest. Trail Fest takes place along a little trail you might have heard of called Hatfield-McCoy's, one of the most epic trail systems in America. And I gotta say, this one, again, packed full of events. And in this case, these events are gonna give you the runs. And what I mean by that is they have everything from poker runs, dice runs, mud runs, scavenger hunts, mud pits, and so much more. This is a 10-day event from October 4 to 14, just packed full of stuff. And again, it's on the Hatfield-McCoy Trail System, so plenty of awesome places to ride, plenty of places to stay. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you on the trail. All right, I gotta go snorkel this thing. So anyway, the one I'm talking about is Rally in the Pines in Salmon, what state? Idaho. Opportunity to ride some of the trails that Lewis and Clark took, obviously not on ATVs, when they were